Hello, everyone. It is I, Louis Porter Jr., doing another transparency agenda as I drive home. Whew, it's been a long day today, very stressful, lots of work. So, what am I working on now? Well, here's something that I know no one knows. I haven't announced this yet. I've been working on, of course, the stuff for Obsidian Apocalypse Kickstarter, getting that together, and keep focused on that. And I keep saying, while I'm working on it, I'm like, I haven't been inspired to work on anything. I mean, Obsidian Apocalypse is going okay. I've got some people working on some projects that are going to be announced very, very, well, I guess not even announced. Yeah, announced. And delivered very, very soon. I'm working on that stuff. But I'm not really doing anything that's like, oh, I got to be working on this kind of thing. So I haven't been kind of just goofing off a little bit in my head and relaxing and just trying to get myself back into the real publishing game, you know. So I decided, and I've been thinking, well, I haven't really decided, but I've definitely been thinking of, I'm like, do I really want to do something new, which would be exciting for the moment, or would I want to go back, wait for it, back to NeoExodus, and maybe do, like I could say, an updated version of the campaign setting. Now, I know a lot of you are going, ooh, what's that? He's going to update the campaign setting? Well, you know, the actual campaign setting has been on the market for 3 years. We've added tons of little stuff to the setting itself, and monsters and weapons and stuff like that, and organizations and evil bad guys. So I was thinking about, like, maybe I should go back and do a bigger book and maybe clear up some stuff that we left out and add some stuff that we wanted to add out and take out some stuff we didn't think was any good and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll think about doing that. That's a possibility. Because it's like, okay, the book as it was, and this is kind of, you know, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of an ego stroke. The book as it was got a 4-star review when we initially did it. And Enzo Geis, who did the review, said this could have been a possibly 5-star with a seal of approval. And I'm like, And that's always kind of been in the back of my mind, you know, maybe one day we'll go back and do that. So now I'm debating about if I'm going to do something like that. Because it'd be nice to work on it. But I basically have been focused so much on Obsidian Apocalypse and working on that and getting off the ground, and Obsidian Apocalypse, and NeoExodus has been really focused on with JP doing a lot of the legacy stuff, and developing that. So I keep thinking, you know, do I want to go back and maybe just do, like I said, advanced guide isn't the right word. Maybe I'll just say let's call it Ultimate Guide for now. I'm probably gonna change the name, but you know, Ultimate Guide, where you just go through and just, you know, add on a lot of cool stuff that, you know, we might have left out. So I mean, you look at it now. Scythians, very, very popular monster for the setting, should have been included in the book. You know, first one, since we did a first one's book, we should have added more first one stat blocks in there. I mean, you gotta remember this book has really changed from, well, I'd say the book has changed, but the environment, I guess I'd say the environment has changed, well, if everything going on. For example, you take a look at, well, when NeoExodus came out, the NPC Codex had not come out? Yeah, the NPC Codex had not come out. So, we did our version with Usual Suspects. And it's kind of interesting because it's like, I would include some of that stuff in the book. And just things you would have included in the book, looking back, you know, 3 years hindsight. It's just, you know, it's. I like the book. It's still solid. It still sells well. It's still a good book. But there's even more stuff I would have added. Like, for example, in the new book, I would put the iconics in the book. You know, I'd put the iconics in the book at the several different levels with the hill history, and they'd have a whole section for themselves. Every iconic for NeoExodus would have that. I think that's just kind of necessary. You know, I'd probably put. I might, and I probably would, I'm going to say probably, put in the folding circle in there, at least a low-level version of them, and keep the high-level version in the actual second book that we did, or, well, in the original book they did. I prefer the second book. You know, because it's like, it gives people a taste of what they are, what they're about, and what the whole purpose of them is, while at the same time, you have the bigger book for the bigger version of them. You know, the campaign guide would give you, okay, or maybe the first 2 CRs of them. You want a low level and a little bit higher, so you get to play them there. If you want the more powerful, epic, destructive, killer ones, here are the ones for that. And adding on all the stuff we wanted to do for that. I mean, there's so much stuff that we wanted to do for the circles, I don't think we ever really did finish. I mean, we kind of did it when we added on the Brotherhood and the two associates, Seeker and Flame, and Axo the Wildstorm, but we never really got further into it. We kind of just did that and said, okay, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. And it was tough because it's one of those situations of, and this is what I noticed with Obsidian Apocalypse. As a toolkit, people really liked what we did toolkit-wise. I think people were very impressed by that. I think, horror in a genre itself has so many different spin-offs of it. It's easy to put certain things in that genre like that. And then I thought about it for a while, saying, geez, I wonder if we could do the same thing with NeoExodus. Okay, there's a generic setting put together. Here's the setting, here's the stuff, here's all the stuff, boom. But if you're going to play, for example, a political thriller of this, well, here's the rules to run the political thriller. Here's the stuff you got to focus on, that kind of stuff, and do that kind of thing. And then if you wanted to play a low fantasy, which is very possible, well, here's all the stuff you got to think about low fantasy and this focus, and play it kind of like that. I think that is a kind of cool way to go about it. We've never, I don't think, I know I didn't really plan for that initially. I mean, I had an initial storyline, I had concepts I wanted to put out, some ideas, and we did all that with the first book, and I'm very, very happy with that. While at the same time, it does need a little bit of a refresher, because we have changed things, we've had added things in the setting itself. JP's been running stuff on Legacies that's been moving the storyline there forward, so it's a lot of different things going on, while at the same time just thinking, this book, it'd be nice to have an update. It'd be nice. But I haven't decided yet. I mean, like I said, we did all the new paper background. A lot of you have seen. We have the original. I'm just gonna call it the Kaga influence background that we did. That has changed. That has changed from when we did these books. So there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of things I could be doing on it. I'm still debating on it. I'm possibly gonna do it. I still have to find a reason to really, really, really get myself psyched up to do it. One of the issues that always came around, I got something on my nose. It feels like I got some snot on my nose. Maybe I'm just looking at it. One of the big issues that always came around about NeoExodus is that people were like, well, I don't know if it's fantasy or not, and I don't know if it's this. And I go back to the cover, which I liked when I did it. Now I'm like, ugh, we should have picked a different cover. That's another reason I want to do an update. It's hard to kind of to place exactly what type of fantasy NeoExodus is. It's not traditional fantasy. It does have elements from a lot of cool genres that people like. So, there's definitely steampunk. I mean, let's be honest. I'm in Protectorate. That's all it is steampunk. Golems, aka robots, aka big kaiju influenced Gundam style kind of big mecha. I mean, I wanted that. I thought that was cool. I still think it's cool. So that's why we did it. And I think it fit in the setting perfectly. It only just helped out when the Gunslinger came out to make it even cooler. So I thought, we've got one society that has gunpowder and guns, and these golems make sense, and all this, in this setting. So that kind of is a perfect setup. I'm still debating. I'm always looking back at stuff and going, oh, do you want to go back and do this or do that? Because really it comes down to this, and this is the important part. Is the fan base enjoying it? And most importantly, and this is important, is it still selling and people are still interested in making it profitable? Because don't get me wrong. People see it, they like the setting, they like what's going on, they like the stuff. That's never been an issue. I think the issue has been, since we don't use a lot of traditional races that you expect to see, that causes people to wonder, well, where do I fit in? And you've got to basically get over the learning curve of, okay, this is this race of creatures, this is what they do, and this is what they do. This is this race, and you got to basically educate the people on that. And it's tough to do that. It is very tough to get people who are used to very traditional elven, dwarf, to come over and say, hey, I want to play a Patan, or I want to play a Calisan, or if I want to play a Cavian. It is a bit of a transition for them. So thinking about that, how do you get people to try different races and get them to play fantasy that they may not be used to? So that's stuff we've got to think about when we do logically, if we're going to update this. I think we've had a lot of those issues, but once again, and this is the issue I've got to admit, JP was always right about this, and it's true. We got to get people to play it. I think the more people play it, the more they enjoy it. That is definitely true. That is definitely 100% right. The problem is getting them to even want to play it, because, I mean, let's be honest. Getting people to play something different than what they're used to is difficult. It is. You know, the advantage that Obsidian Apocalypse has is that we kind of grabbed a genre that we knew that people were enjoying and people liked, and then just added ourselves to it. Because, I mean, the horror genre has a fan base. Always will. And we touched on a lot of the stuff that people like in those fan bases. You know, we did a very Cthulhu-esque toolkit for it. You know, we did the traditional zombie apocalypse. So there's a fan base for that. We did hell on earth. You know, angels fighting demons. That's very typical. People are fans for that. So I mean, we did those things that I knew that people would be interested in. We just put our stuff with a flavor on it, and you know, it really was a lot of fun to do. You know, getting the right people involved in it, getting so many good people involved with it, was just an added plus. I think NeoExodus is different because, you know, we're playing fantasy, but we're not playing the typical fantasy you're used to seeing. So that can cause some consternation, like that word, consternation with people. So you've got to kind of pick and choose what sounds like a good idea and what isn't. I mean, I believe NeoExodus is one of the most interesting settings out there. I think we made some of the great races you haven't seen before. I think we also, which is I think the smartest thing we did, was connect it to other third-party publishers in the way of Psionics. You know, that was at the beginning when when I first got started doing this, it was going to be a 3.5 product. Well, it was a 3.5 product. I knew I wanted to include Psionics, so boom. And then when it went to Pathfinder, I still wanted to do Psionics, and Dreamscard Press being there really helped us out. You know, that was a great thing. You know, oh, you're going to do Psionics? Well, there's already guys doing Psionics, so I don't have to do Psionics. Let's get them to write it. And that kind of flew right into that, and that was a very easy thing to do. So, you know, it's a good thing. I think, you know, as always, teaming up with people who do things that I wouldn't do as well. If we did our own Psionics, it wouldn't be as good. Because there's nobody as passionate about Psionics as the guys at Dreamscard. That's what they eat, live, and breathe, no doubt. That's their specialty, that's their focus, and they're great at that. You know, that's why, you know, Obsidian Apocalypse, I want to be the guy known for horror in Pathfinder. That's how we built it the way we did. That's why we went and did the things we did. And, you know, even the new release with Flesh and Iron, with adding the Prometheans and adding back the Usmati and the Raijin. You know, we knew people liked those races. We knew people wanted to play those kind of races. So put them in, get them excited, and that was that. I mean, you know, look, it's not rocket science, but it is, you know, good common sense. So you got to pick and choose. You got to pick and choose the right thing. You got to do the right thing. You got to make the right choices. Oh, so tired. Long day, like I said. So I'm still debating about NeoExodus. There's still some stuff I'd like to do in NeoExodus. There's still some stuff that needs to be done in NeoExodus. It's just, you know, focusing on it. Oh, and by the way, we actually got three new products for NeoExodus going to be coming out. Some more weapons. Specifically, I know two of them are Akama, you know, the little hooks, that's monks, Kama, Kama. I forgot the name of them. Jeez, there's three of them. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I think we did a big war club also, and something else. JP didn't write these. Jeff Lee wrote these, but he wrote these a while ago. So we put them on the back burner when everything happened. So now we're moving that stuff to the front burner and just, you know, fixing that stuff and getting that moving. So those will be out very, very soon. I'm hoping. I got the edits back from Joshua today, so I'm gonna go through them, put them through layout, probably tonight when I get back. Tonight I have a gig for work, so I got to be there late. So that's why I'm driving home to pick up Lucas. Like I said, long day, busy day. So we got that stuff going on. I'm hoping to get that stuff out, or at least one or two of them out by this week and next week, and you know, by Memorial Day weekend, have all three of them out. That'd be nice for Memorial Day weekend. Have some more new stuff for you to play. It's always good to have new stuff on, you know, vacation. And from there, we'll be seeing what other cool stuff we can add. Plus, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff just coming out from the guys at Paizo. You know, the strategy guide that I was hoping was going to be strategy and tactics. Really, dude? Really? I love Florida, those drivers. It's supposed to be out, you know, soon, but now they moved it to October, which is like got me going, because I really wanted to see that one. I got Jeff working on a secret project. I can't tell you about what it is yet, but I think people will be interested when they hear about it. And there's some other like older projects I'm thinking about updating and adding more stuff to. I mean, the one that keeps popping in my mind always is trade routes. The trade routes book we did. I'd always like to update that one. I think we did a good job with the original one. I'd like to possibly, you know, have some guys work on that. Maybe add another 10,000 words to it. I think there's some cool stuff that could be added. But we gotta see. So that's where I am right now as I drive home in traffic. And I say that's about it right now. Oh, by the way, for a lot of you guys out there, always, you know, if you're wondering, you know, feel free to ask questions or email me questions. I'm pretty good about answering them. You know, depending on what kind of situation I'm in. If it's in a good mood, you probably can answer within like 5 minutes. If I'm in a bad mood and I want to put stuff off, it might be a while. But generally, I usually try to answer rather quickly, just for my own personal mindset of cleaning out my email box. So just a thought. But all right. Well, thank you so much for listening. And as always, I'm Louis Porter Jr., and I'm sure we're going to have some more crazy stuff next time. Talk to you later.